I'm not. We're back here at Jake's Furnishings, having a good time as always at Jake's, as he's got a bunch of sales going on here in the month of October. And what, Jake, 0% going on too?
Yeah, 1 year no interest available, qualifying purchase, also 6 months no interest. So we got a couple different options for you. Check out the new Power recliners, man.
Power
recliners.
Power recliners. I'm going to try one of those out. Can I rent one of those for a weekend?
No.
All right. I was gonna try it out and then spread the word for you, but
yeah, no, you can. I'll set you up on a nice purchasing option.
Planned. Thanks. If I'm qualified for that 0%. He's open all day, 9 to 5 today, and tomorrow 12 to 4. He's also open Monday, which is also Columbus Day, but Jake will be here.
Check us out 24/7 at jakesfurnishings.com.
There he goes. We just had Coach McDonald and a couple of players, Dane Eimer and Cody Hybrid, are in after a tough one last night as Griffin came into Lincoln and put it on us pretty good, 62-14. The Railers travel to Rochester next week. As you've heard in the 3 commercial breaks after we've came back, you still believe that it's baseball time.
Oh,
so the Cardinals made it, Jake, as you're donning the Cardinal
Snuck into
attire.
the second wild card spot.
So you're happy that the new wild card system is in play.
Oh, yeah.
Now you are.
Well, I mean, to be honest, you look at it over, I don't know how many last few years, usually the teams that make the World Series, and it's usually both.
You're right.
Texas has kind of changed the trend this last
Have been
year,
that wild card team.
Yeah.
The Marlins were a wild card
Well,
machine.
not only that, but usually the teams that are in the actual World Series don't make it the following year.
Yeah.
And last year, Texas was the second year in a row. This year, the Cardinals and Texas both made it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of odd to see that, but it's great to see an extra market into baseball this year, you know, with Texas making it. Baltimore's also in there. They're the first wild card. The A's actually won the division this year, which was phenomenal. Great comeback again this year.
Right.
And then Atlanta, you know, bringing Chipper Jones to the postseason one more time. It was just a great thing for baseball, and it's been a lot of fun here the last 2 weeks.
You know, it's kind of neat too. It's a couple more games. You know, games. I love postseason play because the crowds are into it. The flags are waving. You know, the crowds are hot. Yeah, exactly. There's sometimes they were talking about on the radio as I was coming in to Lincoln this morning that the A's are used to playing in front of like 8,000 fans.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not used to playing in front of 40.
Yep.
And they were a little, you know, not worried, but some of the experts were wondering how they're going to, you know, react.
Take it all in.
Yeah. And when you're used to playing against with 10,000 fans at home, and now that place is going to be ram-packed, crazy. The atmosphere around Oakland is going to be crazy. So,
you know, I've watched a few games here the last couple of weeks from Oakland, and
now
it's rowdy out there.
Now that they realize that they have a chance of making it. But I'm talking when the first season started.
Absolutely. Nobody had any expectations.
You could have picked where you wanted to sit.
I don't know if any expert. Actually, I'll almost guarantee there wasn't a single expert that put them even in a wild card position with you look at Texas and then, just the other way, go to Los Angeles. Those two teams were it.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody talked about any other team. Those were the two teams that were going to win it. Oakland snuck in there and did it right with Billy Beane and got a couple extra players there at the deadline and made them what they need to be.
And I think they're a very fun team to watch. You watch those guys hit, and when they hit a ground ball, they're out of the box like crazy. And that's I enjoy watching teams like that. And I'll probably root for the A's this year in the playoffs because it's like you said, small market team. They didn't spend a lot of money, but they just did it kind of what some people may say the right way.
Yeah.
And I was listening, as I said on the radio this morning, they had their Game 3 starter on. He's 24 years old. He's the oldest pitcher they've got.
Yep.
24 years old. And they were calling him the old man. So it's it's kind of neat as baseball is coming and as you're our in-house cheap seats baseball expert.
Well, and another thing about Oakland is they're looking for a new stadium.
Yeah.
How much more attractive does that make you when you have a budget-friendly team that can win the division? And obviously when they're winning, they're drawing crowds. So you put a new stadium up as well. I mean, you could do some very good things with that team if they can get the revenue for a new stadium.
6 p.m. Oakland. I'm assuming that's Eastern. 6 p.m. Eastern tonight. Detroit and Oakland. That's game 1 in Oakland, I believe.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
I believe so.
Because it'll just be. Yeah, I believe that's in Oakland, and then.
No, they're at Detroit.
At Detroit.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Yep. At Detroit. So Cincinnati travels to San Francisco for a 9:30 start too. That's Cueto versus Kane. Parker and Verlander take.
What they're doing this year is kind of different from previous years. The first 2 games
I don't like it.
Are at the underdog, and then the last 3 are at home. Yeah, I don't know as major leaguers how much that home field advantage works for you. I
like 2-2-1 myself.
Well, for the number 1 seed, it's actually pretty good because, well, in like the Cardinals' case, the Cardinals flew to Atlanta. Now they're going to go back home. Then they're going to fly to Washington. A lot of traveling in between here and there.
Right.
So, I mean, that's going to wear them down a little bit. Or actually, no, they're coming back to St. Louis.
First.
So, yeah, first to St. Louis. So, a lot of traveling for the Cardinals. Washington's already been in St. Louis. So, you know, maybe that'll play into an advantage. I like what Major League Baseball's doing. They're trying to figure out a way to give the better teams a little bit more of an advantage in that first round, and maybe it's a shot in the dark. It may not work.
Yeah, I still like the 2-2-1 where you got a chance you're at home. I think the first team, the higher seed should always get first.
Yeah,
you know they should be at home. Get the 2 in, then you got the 2. Like for instance, Washington would have 2. Then the Cardinals would come back for the 2, and then if need be, that deciding game would come back to Washington. Well, I like that format.
I believe this format has a lot to do with Tony La Russa.
Imagine
that. I thought you might like that.
Washington and St. Louis tomorrow, 2:00. Boy, this place will be rowdy.
Oh yeah.
Get TV going.
Oh yeah.
And
the Bears
don't forget about
playing at the same time. So.
Bears, and then Baltimore and New York at 5:00. So 2:00, 5:00 baseball tomorrow. Of course, all you Cardinal fans will be tuned in to at 2:00.
That Baltimore team's fun to watch, man.
Who you picking, Jake? I don't know. I'd like to see Oakland do it, but I don't know if they've got enough.
Well, going by how I did it last year, I'm going to stick with the same format. St. Louis, I don't think they have enough this year to get by Washington. Josh, it's an uphill battle, man. So I'm going to stick with the same format. You know, I hope the Cardinals well, but, you know, I think Washington pull this one out.
Okay. So you're really as you're sitting here smiling at me.
I can't go against what worked last year. So
who's going to win it all?
Washington.
Really? So you're still doing this reverse psychology stuff on me?
It worked last year.
I'm going to take. I think I'm going to take. I'm talking about the World Series winner.
Yeah, the World Series winner.
I think I'm going Detroit.
All right.
They got a lot of offense. Fielder, Cabrera.
They do have a lot of offense.
Verlander
first Triple Crown winner in 60 years?
Yeah, 57 or something like that. Verlander is tough. Their bullpen is good. They got a good closer. Their defense is not great. That's one thing in the playoffs.
Not a lot of range except in center field.
Right, and that bothers me a little bit. But it seems they offense most of the time. Although I don't know, playoff games are generally low scoring. It just depends, I guess. But cold weather, I think the defense and the pitching will take over when guys don't want to swing a wooden bat when it's 20 degrees outside with the wind blowing and the guy's throwing 99 at their knuckles. So I think defense, but I'm still going to take.
Detroit does have the pitching too.
They do.
So, but Oakland for the last 2 months has been surprising to people.
Right.
They stayed ahead of Anaheim, who was supposed to be there, and then they actually surpassed Texas. So
that's one thing that's crazy to me is the Cardinals, and believe me, I'm a diehard Cub, but they lose their best player, maybe the best hitter we'll ever see in our lifetime. You lose your manager, and then they still find a way to get the job done.
To get all the pieces together. Hey, the great thing about it, I was kind of looking at it, you look at all the pieces on their team. Their second baseman, shortstop, catcher, first baseman, backup first baseman, third baseman, and center fielder basically were homegrown.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty good. And then all but, I think, 2 of their bullpen guys were homegrown. Pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And then 3 of their 5, now not counting now, but basically 3 of their 5, because Carpenter's back, but for the year, 3 of the 5 starting pitchers were also homegrown.
Right.
That's really how you're supposed to build a team. If you can get away with that and you can get those complementary pieces together, you're going to win a lot of ball games. If you can get that right mix, and it seems like they've been very fortunate.
Didn't hurt that Beltran had a career year.
One of his careers, yeah. I mean,
his whole career.
Oh, he's had
the best career. This is the best year he's had.
He almost won MVP about.
He could have won on
MVP
ago. Almost this year, if not for Buster Posey.
I think Molina's better than. I think I would have put Molina ahead of Beltran this year.
Really?
Molina had an unbelievable year. Plus, defensively, he's as good as it gets. Probably the best in the game. 20-plus home runs, over 300 batting average. You
don't get that from a catcher very often.
Not very often, and you're talking about the most crucial point of the defensive team outside of the pitcher.
Right.
And he played almost every game. I mean, Molina only missed probably, I think, 14 games this year, 12 games. So for a catcher, that's basically in.
Yeah, that's enough talk about the Cardinals for me. So let's take a quick commercial break. Jim, cue it up and get that music going, I guess. We'll be back here in just a couple minutes. In the works, but he couldn't quite get the song produced. I'm having thoughts that it could have been something to do about the Cubs, but I'm not quite sure. We're back here at Jake's Furnishings, 1100 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. Josh Komnick, along with the furniture guy, Jake Johnston, just got done talking Cardinals and playoff baseball, as that's getting ready to set today. 5 o'clock, I think, and 5 and 8:30 or something like that tonight. And Jake, college football today. We've got a bunch of top 25 matchups. Oregon's playing Washington. Of course, Georgia and South Carolina is the big one tonight. Notre Dame and Miami, that's at Chicago. That's in Soldier Field. So for any of you Notre Dame fans, number 8, West Virginia, is at number 11, Texas. Of course, West Virginia went to that Big 12 conference. Ohio State, Nebraska. So a big one in the Big 10. Clemson, Georgia Tech. And that's about all as far as the big games. Oklahoma and Texas Tech, I guess, is some sort of a big game, I guess. Florida State, North Carolina State. Oh, LSU at Florida. So
that's big.
That's big.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
A lot of things going on in college football. I don't know that one team has really set themselves apart as much as Alabama probably has, to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if some NFL teams could beat those. I mean, they're good.
They're good. I'd like to see them and USC go head-to-head.
Yeah.
I think that'd be kind of a fun game. LSU's playing really well as well. So, and Florida State.
Florida State. I watched them a couple weekends ago, and they look tough. But Alabama, right now, is about as good as it gets in college football.
Yeah.
And Illinois is not even.
Yeah, kind of going the wrong direction right now. But it's somewhat to be expected. We won a couple games we wanted to win, and we thought we would win, and then the rest of them, lots of changes on the team, and you had to expect some kind of a letdown there. But it's all in the recruiting for next year. So, we're supposed to be retooling, and hopefully next year we'll be able to come in here and sing a little more praise.
Well, because we've got a long way to go. That's the problem.
Good news for us as well is the hoop season's also about ready to kick off. Midnight Madness is coming soon, so
yeah, and
maybe that's good news. I don't know.
And hopefully, we're getting better. I think on the basketball court too. A lot of people like this new guy, Gross, and some more talent coming Illinois' way. Not only did they get the kid from Simeon, but they just got another kid from Simeon, Jalon Tate.
Yep.
Committed to the Fighting Illini, just a couple days ago. I think it was like Thursday or Friday. So, and when you can get guys from Simeon, I'll take that any day.
Any day.
You know, they've been a power in Illinois for, I mean, Derrick Rose. I mean, you're talking a long time ago. Derrick Anderson. I think maybe, what was that guy's name that played for Illinois? I mean, he even went to Simeon, maybe Liberty or something. I don't remember who it was. But when you can get guys from Simeon, you're in up there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the nice thing about that is recruiting in that area kind of keeps expanding on its own. You know, if you're bringing in kids from that area, they'll bring friends. You know, and it'll be a community thing, and they'll accept you into that, and that's a big deal, man. Really good players from up there, and a very winning way of doing everything. Well, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, you can't beat the attitude of winning, and they're going to bring that. Of course, the kid's last name was Nunn that we got a couple weeks ago, and then this guy, the Illinois Lands point guard, Jalon Tate, just a couple days ago. So again,
one of the best point guards in the state.
Yeah, basketball. I like this guy. He's aggressive. He goes after guys. He wants a high-powered, up-tempo offense. I think when you get guys that
and he actually believes in a post game,
right?
Which is cool.
Yes. So I'm excited. As you said, you're getting me off track. You're getting me off schedule, throwing Illinois basketball out there at me. But
well, I apologize, but I got kind of geared up earlier this week. They brought up Midnight Madness and started getting the blood going with that too. So you got playoff baseball. As I'm
reading, Keita Bates Diop plays for University High, U-High in Bloomington, is close to making his decision too between Purdue, Illinois, and Michigan. So that might be another one coming this way. I believe he's about 6'8", very long, athletic type of a forward. So people taking notice of what Gross is doing. Coach Gross over at Champaign is doing as far as the basketball program, and seems to be working so far.
Seems to be working so far. You got to get them in a game situations and see what happens there.
I do know it'll be more up-tempo and a lot more fun to watch than the last couple of years.
Well, the thing is, a lot of people made the point that we lost our center. Oh, woe is us. But to be honest, the offense didn't function through him. Miles Leonard, unfortunately, wasn't used in the way he probably should have been.
Yeah.
And so with that being said, you didn't lose a whole lot because you didn't have it. You didn't use it. So if you're not using it, might as well get rid of it. Not that they wanted that. I'm sure they'd
like to have it back.
Oh, man.
That's enough for the Illini basketball. Of course, we'll get into that a lot more in the next a couple weeks. As Jake said, Midnight Madness approaching. NFL tomorrow, big week. Of course, the Bears are at Jacksonville, and that is a 3 o'clock start. And the Bears have looked good, Jake, 3-1. We're right there. Defense looked great against the Cowboys last Monday. This past Monday. The offense looked good.
The offense didn't look bad. Some breakdowns still on the offensive line, so that's still a work in progress. But
I think we're going to have to live with that.
Yeah, but they're improving, and it looks like they put in some plays that made it so Cutler could get out of the pocket a little bit, use his legs a little bit, and you saw some big plays because of that.
Well, and I wanted to see, I'm tired of watching Cutler drop back 5-step drop, and he's getting smashed. Why don't you do is it possible to do a 1-step? I mean, just hike it and get it out of there, or a 3-step. Let's get it out. But it was always, let's take a 5-7-step drop. Well, heck, our offensive line isn't good enough to get that.
Yep.
So you got to get the quick ones. You got to get Marshall over the middle. I was happy to see Hester finally caught a ball.
Oh, yeah.
The offense looked good. I like Forte and Bush, the complement of two running backs. The biggest move they made this year was not only getting Marshall, but also was getting Bush.
Yes,
that guy, we needed him, and he gives Forte a break.
Change of pace back, too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a big hitter.
Forte was hurt, a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and this guy came in. It gives Forte a break where he can stay fresh more throughout the game, throughout the season.
Yep.
So some good moves, I think, by the Bears. I'm excited about it. Hopefully they can, and we talked about this earlier with Jim, this could be a trap game. I mean, you're coming off a big win on a Monday night, traveling home from Dallas, and then you got to go back down to Jacksonville. That's a game you're supposed to win. You're probably going to be favored 7 points or better. Yep. And you walk right into there, and we've seen it before where the Bears will not show up. I hope they do, but this could be a game where you need to gain on the record wise, and you may not.
Well, the Bears, my friend, are going to go down there to Jacksonville, and they're going to roll them, my friend.
All right. Hey, I'm looking forward. You heard it from the coach. Jake, we're going to sign off a little early today. I got to get to a soccer game.
Oh, yeah.
So, and you've got some customers coming in here. Stop out here at Jake's Furnishings, located at 1100 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. I want to thank Jake and everybody, Coach, for stopping by. Some of the players, Cody Highbreeder, for those guys checking in, Dane Eimer, and we'll check you next week as we're at the Christian Village next week. Want to thank everybody for listening. Want to thank all of our sponsors. I got to get to a soccer game. We'll see you next week, Jake.
Good day.